Hey guys, Mr. Lloyd here, going to work with you today on Tuesday, May 19th for video 2 of 2. This video we're going to be going over the page that you see on the screen. It's all about finding quartiles. The previous work from the day was about exploring the concept of quartiles, why we use them, etc. Remember, quartiles are just another statistical tool, another great math tool that we use to understand, to kind of divide up our data and understand it a little bit better, sort of another organizational tool for statistics. So let's look at this page, and we're going to first be looking at set A, according to the instructions. Look at set A. When a set of data has an odd number of values, the median is a value in the set. So this is just a quick review. If we're looking here, here's our data listed smallest to largest, and the median is 210. Straightforward there. Here for part 11, explain why 133 is in the first quartile of the set and 275 is the third quartile. In other words, why does that make sense? These are true statements. We have to explain why they're true. Well, the first quartile here, let's take a look actually before let me back up. The median here divides the data into half. And oftentimes when we look at data, we're looking at it horizontally, so we'd say left and right. But in this case, we're looking at it vertically, so we can say top half up here and bottom half down here. So the top half of the data has 1, 2, 3 values, and the bottom half has 1, 2, 3 values as well. So when we're trying to choose a first quartile, we need to choose a number here in the middle that would divide the top half of the data, or the top half of the data, into two equal sized parts. And one equal sized part would be 101, the other one would be this value 137. Okay, similarly, we're looking at the third quartile is 275. We need to make sure that that line is drawn in the data so that there are equal sized portions on top and on bottom. So there's one value on top, one value on bottom. Okay, so pretty straightforward. You can word that if you want to copy the way I worded it, that's perfectly fine. If you want to reword it slightly, that's also fine. But just a way to explain why this makes sense, why this is true for set A. Okay, we'll do a little bit of similar work here for set B. B, we have to excuse me, we have to calculate the median. It's not given to us. So to calculate the median, it's right in between 51 and 55. Now you might know that the number right in between, exactly halfway in between 51 and 55, you might just know that this is 53. But in case you don't know, there's a method to figure this out. And it's a straightforward method. We add up 51 and 52. We get 106. And we divide 106 by 2. And we get 53. In other words, we found the mean of the two middle numbers. We added the two numbers together, we divided by 2, and there you have it. So the median is 53 for this data set B. Okay? And this part 13 is really similar to what we did up top for number 11. Once we've divided the data into two equal sized halves by creating a median, now we have to look at the portions on top and the portions on bottom, and we want to divide those portions in half as well, using the first quartile and third quartile. And we're going to choose the value here that divides these into equal sized portions. So there's one value up top, one value below, and then similarly one value up top, one value below, once we choose our quartiles. So quartiles is not a really complicated concept. There aren't a whole lot of calculations you have to do. We just have to understand that as a concept, as a very useful tool in statistics. Okay? Now, finally, on plot here for the bottom, 14 and 15 for plot A and plot B, we're going to find the median, the first and the third quartile for each. To show you that work, I'm going to take you to my notebook paper, and we're going to look at this here. And all I did when I took this to notebook paper, the reason I did this is just to give you a little more space. So for plot A, I listed the data, just like it's shown on the dot plot. I just write it numerically, and I just write it from smallest to largest, just like this, 1 through 11. If there are 2 dots on 2, then I write 2 twice. There were 2 dots on 5, 2 on 8, and so on and so forth. But just remember, you record every one of those dots is one value in your data set. Listing it from smallest to largest gives me a good way to find the mean, the median, which is this middle number, and in this case, it happens to be 6, so I labeled it there. And then once I've labeled the median, then I look at the left side of my data, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 values. And so I need to find, if I'm creating a first quartile, I need a mark right down the middle here of my data, and that happens to be 3. So 3 marks my first quartile. And that's nice because if I look, I have 3 values to the left and 3 values to the right of my first quartile, so equal size portions. Okay. Similarly, coming over here, there's 7 values total, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 9, and 11. That totals up to 7 values. So I need to choose the middle value here, which is 9 in this case. And there are 3 values to the left of 9 and 3 values to the right of 9. So that means that's a good choice for my third quartile, equal size portions. Okay, so that was plot A. We'll do the exact same thing for plot B. Plot B just had different values for the data set, but otherwise the concept is the same. So the first thing I do is list them out from smallest to largest, just like this. And then the first thing I do, or the next thing I do after I've listed them, is I find the median. So there are 15 values. The median is the 8th value in the set. And in this case, it happens to be 58. And then I look at 58, and I notice there are 7 numbers to the left of 58, 7 numbers to the right of 58. So let's look at the left side. If there are 7 of them, then the 4th value, which happens to be 56, marks the middle here. So there are 3 values to the left of the first quartile and 3 values to the right of the first quartile. Good to go there. Equal size portions. And then the third quartile, 61, happens to be our number because there were 7 values, and 61 is the 4th value of the 7. And if you're not sure, even still, just look real quick and you say, wait, there's 3 numbers to the left, 3 numbers to the right. I'm good. That's my marking for quartile. So that's all we had to do for plots A and B there. I'm going to go back to the page one more time. And if you look down here, I just recorded the values, just off my notebook paper. Just copied them over. Okay, so that's all we had to do today. We just worked on quartiles, dividing up, listing data from smallest to largest, and then dividing it up into 4 equal size portions. Okay, pretty fun concept. Lots of different ways to explore data in this way. We're going to continue to work with data for the remainder of the week as we close out our work for the school year. And you'll be using these concepts significantly in your 7th grade math classes as well. So good time to get some exposure to it this year and get a lot of practice with calculating mean, median, range, dividing data sets into quartiles. All those are very important skills. You'll get lots of practice with this as you move forward with math. But keep working hard out there, guys. I appreciate you watching the video. And if you do have any questions, please keep them coming through YouTube, Google Classroom, text, remind, email, phone calls, lots of different ways to get in touch. All right, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later.